What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of E Creeks Outdoors. I'm Ethan Cregan, guys, and we're just getting back into the swings of YouTube here, so stick with me here, guys. Today we have an episode on, since I'm going to Brazil, if you watched the last video or if you remember from like a year back when I talked about studying abroad in Brazil, I'm leaving in like a week and a half, and what I want to talk to is about what was kind of one of the more important things you need before you go abroad, at least to Brazil. I can only speak for Brazil, although I'm sure there's a lot of similarities between going to other countries, but I'm from the US and I'm going to Brazil, and I'm going to talk about what you need to get your visa for studying abroad in Brazil. There will be similarities maybe if you're going for something else, but again, this is just for if you need your visa for studying abroad in Brazil. So I want to talk about what you need. This is called the Vitem IV, so the Vitem IV visa. And this is for studies like grade school, undergraduate, graduate, or study abroad programs for stays longer than 90 days. And I have this all pulled up on my laptop from when my advisor sent me what I needed. And this was one of the harder things for me to get. It wasn't hard to get. It just took a while to put all the stuff together. And I think you can only apply to it 90 days or less before your trip. So that kind of stressed me out. But I was actually shocked at how fast it actually went through the Brazilian Consulate General in Washington, which is who I went through. So if you're going to Brazil, and I'm sure this works for other countries work like this too, but I can only speak for Brazil. When you're going to Brazil, depending on where you are from, what state you live in, or U.S. territory, there's a consulate general for you. So I live in Ohio, so the Brazilian consulate general in Washington is the consulate general of Brazil that I had to apply to. I think there's one in Boston, and there's like 5 of them or something like that. But I know mine was like Ohio, West Virginia, Midwestern states near Washington or whatever. And I think it also serviced some of all the American territories except Guam, or I think something like that. But so you can look up real quick if you just look up like what Brazilian Consulate General do I apply to, it'll come up on their website. So here is what you need. I will go down the list, and this took me some time to gather all this stuff together just because I'm forgetful, and I would go to get one thing and then be like, oh no, I need this, or I would drive there and print stuff out, and then I would be like, oh, I forgot this. So this says at the top, note, if your program will last fewer than 90 days, you may enter Brazil on a visitor visa or a Vivis, V-I-V-I-S. I don't know what that stands for, but it's what it says. So here's your application requirements. The first thing you need is a passport, which that's a whole other thing. I'm sure you can figure out how to get a passport. It is not that hard. One tip I will say with your passport. When I applied for my passport, I had something happen where they sent it to me and they put the wrong birth year on it. I was born February 3rd, 2001, and they put February 3rd, 2002 on my passport, which is a big no-no because like when I going on the plane, I'm sure if they saw that, they would look at my ID and be like, this doesn't match up. So I didn't need that. So I was kind of worried it was taking a while with the COVID or whatever, and they weren't telling me how long it was going to take. So when I sent it back, what I did was my mom had said something to me about call your local congressman for passport. Now, I never knew this was one of their duties, but your local congressman, actually, they have the duty to deal with passport problems for their constituents, the people that live in their region. So if you look up, or hopefully if you're 18 or over, you voted for someone, whoever is in office for your region in Congress, call their office. The congressman won't, or congresswoman won't pick up, but one of their assistants or helpers or workers, whatever, will talk to them, tell them your problem. I just basically talked to them, told them that I was going to Brazil in a couple months, that I needed to get this passport fast so I could do all this paperwork. And I had this passport within like a week. They did it so fast. And it takes at least a few weeks to just to apply and get a passport. So sending it back, it had already been a couple weeks, and as soon as they got on it, they had it for me like crazy. They were emailing me back and forth, letting me know what was up, and that is the tip I will give you on your passport. Also, when you get your passport, try to get a couple extra passport photos, because there's just these little 2x2 photos that they'll take at the post office when you get your passport. And if you have some extra of those, if you can buy some extra of those, will help a lot, because you'll need that for other stuff. So the next thing you need is proof of residence in the U.S. This says visa or green card for non-U.S. citizens. So you really don't need to worry about that. It's only for if you're a non-U.S. citizen. If you are a non-U.S. citizen, obviously just attach either, probably, I'm assuming they would just let you attach a copy of your visa or green card. The next thing you need is a visa application form, receipt, printed and signed. So for Brazil, they have a link that I will attach in the bio that you just click that, you fill out this application. I had my computer just translated to English. It was a bit hard to understand because I don't speak Portuguese and not everything translates perfectly. One thing I will say is that in Brazil, and I'm sure they do this in a lot of other countries, but in the US, when we do a date, you do the month, the day, then the year. In Brazil, they do the day, month, then year. So that's one thing that I screwed up that I had to go back and fix once I read over it. So do that, print that, and sign that. It's very easy. I will attach the link for the visa application form for Brazil. So if you or somebody's going to Brazil, this is a great video. If you're going somewhere else, I'm not sure how this works. The next thing you need, like I just said, you need a passport style photo. They need this because when they get your visa, they'll put it on your passport and they'll attach that photo to it. So you will need those like probably anytime you apply for a visa or whatever, I'm assuming. I don't really know, but I know it came up a couple times when I needed it. So get some extra of those. You can actually go to Walmart, pro tip. That's where I got mine done. You can go to Walmart and I tried to get one on the little machine or whatever, but if you just ask somebody at like the photo desk, they actually have a service where they pull out this like white back screen and they take a passport photo to you. Super easy, and it's like $5 or something. The next thing you need is a U.S. Postal Service money order. I never even knew what this is. That shows you how much they teach you in school. Don't get me started on that. But you, if you go to, they do this at like the post office. I know they do this at a lot of grocery stores. And I'm really not sure where else. I could probably look it up real quick. Where can you get a money order? Anyways, I went to the post office to get mine. Yeah, Walmart does it. 11 best places here to get a money order. Okay, here's the 11 best place. 7-Eleven, Walmart, CVS, Meijer, Kmart, Publix, Kroger, Postal Service, your local check cashing company, your local bank, or your local credit union. So obviously you have at least one of those near you. What a money order is basically when you go to the post office, you have to pay cash for this, and there's a fee to get it. But you buy one off of them, and it's just basically a thing saying this is worth X amount of money. I'll throw up a picture of one right here, what it looks like, and maybe I'll type a little explanation. It's kind of hard for me to explain. Kind of reminded me of a traveler's check, if you know what that is. But basically, you have to pay for this visa with a money order, and there was a fee with it, which was a couple dollars, I do believe, when I got it from the post office. And the visa fee for this visa was $160. It had to be paid money order through the Consulate General of Brazil, and you have to fill out on the money order with pen, and then you can fill out a receipt for yourself, and then you send it in, and yeah, that's easy. You just attach that in there. So just go to your post office, bank, whatever, and tell them you want a money order, and they'll get you set up. So I wish I knew more about money orders. I have to learn more about that because I don't know the ins and outs of them, but not very common. I guess I've never even heard of it before them, but they have them at a lot of places. Next thing you need is your birth certificate, original and one copy. little worried at first about sending my original birth certificate, but I sent Priority Express. I would recommend, if you're applying for a visa, to send the fastest possible way. I did USPS Priority Express, and when you're applying for the Brazil one, you have to send it through USPS. You cannot send through FedEx or UPS or anything like that. It has to be USPS. And I sent it and got it back when I sent all my paperwork in, like, it was 4 days total, like 2 days there, 2 days back. Man, it was like 3 days. I mean, it was so fast. I was amazed. Okay, so just take your birth certificate, make a copy, send both those in. You have to get an FBI background check. This is a big one, issued within the past 60 days. To get this done, I had to go to USPS, a local USPS. The closest one to me that did background checks was all the way in Cleveland, which is about an hour drive from me. If you watched my last video, I said I had to set this up. They don't take appointments, but I had to set up I worked out my schedule time I could go up there, drove up, and I actually drove up to see my grandma the night before in Cleveland. Then I went to the post office in the morning. When it was this huge post office in Cleveland. I could not find the entrance. It took me like 15 minutes, drove around the whole thing. Found the entrance, went in there, and their computer systems were down, so they could not do the fingerprint. Waited around for a while, went to a sketchy gas station, had to get a charger because I could not find where the on-ramp was, and I'm bad at directions, so I didn't want my phone to die. Came back, still their computer system was down, so I had to drive back, come all the way back the next day, and then the lady was like, yeah, as soon as you left, our computer system came back up. So the FBI background check is a real pain in the butt, but I mean, it's hard. It's a pain just because you have to maybe drive somewhere if you don't live by a big city. And I know for me, I had to do that through USPS for the Brazil one. Probably most places are like that. Most countries you want to go to, you probably have to do it through U.S. Postal Service. It's just trustworthy because, it's like connected to the government. And anyways, yeah, so I did it through USPS, and it was super easy once I got there. It took like 10 minutes. They did my fingerprints, and then they took care of the rest, and they just mail it to you. It comes in like a super official package from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. I think that's what the FBI is in. All right, after you do that, you also need, this is the next thing, prepaid priority or priority express envelope from U.S. Postal Service. Again, envelopes from other carriers, examples FedEx, UPS, DHL are not accepted. So yeah, just be safe and do Priority Express for both of them, and pay for the Priority Express on the way there. Put another Priority Express in there, pay for both of them. You have to pay for it. Get tracking on the first one. I know for me, they wouldn't let me get tracking on the second one. Because they can't track it until they send it back or something. But I got tracking on the first one, and it was like 3 days for there and back. So do the fastest possible way. Just always be safe. Next thing you need is proof of enrollment in accredited foreign university or other accredited institution of higher learning if applicable. So for this, I go to Kent State University. All I did was call them, and I tried to get my, I just printed off an unofficial transcript. I did two things. I attached that. You could use an official transcript. And then I also went on my university's website and search proof of enrollment, and something called the clearinghouse, which I guess is what they do all their enrollment through, came up. And I just clicked two buttons, and it came a form that just basically said, I'm enrolled in Kent State University. Printed that off. So I'm sure your university has a clearinghouse that you can just call and ask for, and they will provide you with proof of enrollment. I'm not sure what clearinghouse means. I know what that means for financial, but not really sure for schools. Next thing, proof of enrollment in Brazilian university or other accredited institution of higher learning in which applicant will complete his or her program. Must state applicant's name, duration of program, and guarantee a minimum of 15 hours of academic instruction per week. I already was sent the acceptance letter from the university I'm studying at, PUC-CPR in Curitiba, Brazil, and so you have to wait till you get that. And I don't think mine guaranteed a minimum of 15 hours of academic instruction. It's in Portuguese, and I don't speak Portuguese, but yeah, that as long as you have proof of enrollment from them, you're good. It's just your acceptance letter. And then the last thing is proof of adequate funds for the duration of applicant's stay in Brazil. This is one that perplexed me a little bit. It says in the bottom, checking/savings account balances, lines of credit, affidavit of financial sponsorship, or parent sponsors, affidavit of financial sponsorship of parent sponsors, scholarship awards, etc. Basically, what I did for this was I just looked up online affidavit of financial support for Brazil, and literally just a PDF I could download came up from some law website or something. Downloaded it, read over it. It just said, I will support my son, daughter, whatever, in Brazil. My parents signed it. They just need a written form, an affidavit. You could literally just take a piece of paper, write on it, I will financially support my son, daughter, and sign it. And I also had mine notarized just to be safe. Yeah, so you can just write on a piece of paper, nice piece of paper, type out, have you sign it, your parents sign it with the date, have it notarized. You can get it notarized at a bank, super easy. And I also just went to my bank and asked for a printout of my account balances of my accounts at the bank, and they just literally printed out a history. They were like, how long do you want? They just printed out a history of like the past week for all my accounts, and I just attached that. So this is running on a little long. I do apologize. I will read over one more time what you need. Passport, proof of residence in the U.S. for non-U.S. citizens. I will say, even though I'm a U.S. citizen, I did attach just a photocopy of my ID just in case they would need that in, just for more proof. Visa application form receipt. Link is in the bio for that one. Super easy. If you want to look up later, just look visa application form for Brazil. Passport style photo. Get extras of those. They're just 2x2 photos you can get at Walmart or the post office. U.S. Postal Service money order. Again, you can get that at a long list of places, Walmart, your bank, grocery store, whatever. Birth certificate, original in one copy. FBI background check. Go and get that at the post office. Has to be issued within the past 60 days of applying for your visa. Prepaid priority or priority express envelope. Obviously, yeah, you need to put all this stuff in a priority express envelope, and then also put one in there prepaid so they can send it back. Proof of enrollment in accredited foreign university. That's your home university. Proof of enrollment in Brazilian university. They'll send you an acceptance letter. And proof of adequate funds. So that's just an affidavit or like just a screenshot, or I don't think you can take a screenshot on banks, but just print out piece of paper of your account balances from your bank. Have the affidavit notarized. Again, it's cost $160 for the Vitem IV visa fee, and you have to do that through money order, and there's a couple dollar fee just to get a money order. So guys, that is what you need if you're going to Brazil to study abroad. This is what I am familiar with, so this is what I'm making this video about. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm leaving for Brazil in a week and a half. I'll be making more videos as I go along, and I just want to thank you guys for watching. Sorry I went so long on this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time on another episode of E. Krieg's Outdoors. Goodbye guys. Keep living adventure style.